Hello, welcome back to the Toolbelt. This is Michael. So we're continuing with our environment project. You can see the large chandelier is pretty much done. Probably could do some more detail work to it, but I think I'm going to move on at this point. So I'm going to grab the group that I have for the chandelier, make a new layer, and I can name it chandelier. And I don't think I spelled that right. That's okay. And hit save, and then I will hide it. Okay, so I think I want to get started on the little chandelier too. So let me pause this video and go find me a reference image. Okay, so I'm looking at a picture of the smaller chandelier, and it has like lots of little jewel shapes that we're going to need to make. It's got kind of a, at the bottom of it, has looks like almost like a wind chime type of deal where these little prism shapes are hanging from the bowl shape that's being made, and then it of course has these little arms coming off of it with little bulbs. So first let's work on the bulb. I think we're going to hide our wall, bring back the grid, and we will focus on the grid by going to predefined bookmarks, perspective, and then we are back to our default view. So for the bulb, I think I'm going to make it's a lot more spherical shaped. So I'm going to create a polygon sphere, and I'll go to the front view here, and we'll adjust our subdivisions because I don't want it to be too high right now. So we can lower this down about 12 or so. Axis maybe about 12 also, and then we can cut off the top like so, and probably cut off the bottom also. And I was thinking of doing it similar to what we have been doing, where we make like a quarter of it and then kind of mirror that around. So we'll go ahead and go through all that process. I'm going to rotate this around so that it's more in line with the grid. Let's go to my top view, make sure that we're lined up. There we go. And then we can go to modify, freeze transformations to zero all this stuff out. And we can also delete history. Okay, so what I want to do here is kind of create a portion of, or a profile or a section of the bulb shape, and then we can duplicate it around to get the rest of it. So I think what I'm going to do is grab this topmost edge, edit mesh, and extrude it out like this. Something like that. Actually, before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and grab these two edge loops and bevel them. Edit mesh, bevel. Something like this. Then we can grab this edge, edit mesh, extrude. Pull this up, kind of scale it in like this. And then these points here, I want to bring up the same amount. Okay. So I'm just going to see what this looks like whenever I duplicate it around. So Control D to duplicate. Okay, so we have something like this. I'll go ahead and mesh combine and merge these points together. Edit mesh merge. And then these points that are crisscrossed here, we'll merge those separately, individually again. And then we can double click on these edge loops for the pointier pieces and edit mesh bevel. Adjust the fraction. Okay, so it's not quite the shape I was hoping for. Actually, I don't think we even need these pieces I extruded up. Let's see what happens if I get rid of those. Delete that. This is actually closer, so we didn't actually need to extrude anything. I'm gonna grab these edges, bring it down so it has a little bit of that curve in there. Yeah, okay, that looks pretty good. So this kind of shape. Now, because of these edge loops being close together, we're getting some of that kind of ridging pattern to the shape. So I'm going to select the edge here, shift select this one, shift double click I should say, and I'm going to deselect the one at the top. So we're going to do that for each one. Select this edge, shift double click, shift select this edge, shift double click. I'll do that all around. But then we want to deselect all those top edges, and then we can go back to mesh, edit mesh, collapse. So it kind of collapses all that together. So then all these branches happen at the top of the bulb. So something like this. And then we can try going to mesh, and let's just try a smooth. Let's see what it looks like. So something like that. We can undo that. And then we can go to mesh, edit mesh, extrude, the whole thing. So we're giving it a little bit of thickness doing this. Like so. And then we can double click these two edge loops and give them a slight bevel, an edit mesh bevel. And try it smooth again just to see what it looks like again. And don't forget, we're not going to see it really close. It's going to be something like this. So not too bad. We can go, for now we can go to mesh display, soften edge, and then we can delete all the history. So the bulb's essentially done. Let me hide the grid for now. So looking at the arm now, it has kind of a shape to it. Let's go to a side view here. I'm going to go to create, curve tools, and use CV curve tool. So I'm going to kind of draw the shape of the arm. Something like that. We can adjust the control vertices to smooth the shape out. Okay. And actually it's probably a little too big compared to the actual curve. Probably scale it something like this. So I'll go to create NURBS primitives circle. Shift select the curve. And again, we do our surfaces, extrude, options, tube at path, component, polygon output, and number U, number V, we can, I'll just say 3 and 3 for now. We can adjust it after the fact. Extrude. Okay, so we have this kind of shape. Let's go to my tessellates here, and for, let's see, yeah, this one will take down the 1, and this one we can, probably 2 will be fine. Scale this down a little bit. And again, we'll need to go to mesh display, reverse, to reverse our normals. Okay. So now that I like this shape, I think we'll keep it. I'm going to delete the history and then select my curves and delete them. So now we just have the polygons left. So here I'm going to double click this edge loop, go to mesh, fill hole. It fills this hole up. I'm going to select that face now, edit mesh bevel, and add a segment in there, increase the fraction a bit to kind of round off the end. And let's see, double click this edge loop, make sure I'm in world mode, hold down V key and left click and drag on my y-axis arrow to kind of point align these to the base of the bulb. I can bring it down somewhat here. And so the bulb, the way it's sitting on the arm, based on the images, it has kind of a frame it's sitting on, like a circular frame, like a circular base. But then the actual bulb itself is kind of sticking up through here inside. So double click on the edge loop, edit mesh, and go ahead and extrude. Kind of scale that out. Extrude again, come up. Extrude again, scale out, extrude again, come up a little bit. And then we'll go to mesh, fill hole, and with this face we can give it a slight bevel. Edit mesh bevel. We'll go ahead and bevel some of the other ones also. So something like that, and then the actual bulb itself will be in here, and I can't see the bulb from the pictures, but I assume it's round. So I'll just create another sphere. Doesn't need to be all that detailed since we won't really see it. Let's align it with our base we have. We go to mesh display, soften edge, and then we can bring this down like this, scale it in, and if we wanted to we could actually delete these faces on the very bottom of our sphere. So the bulb will be inside there like that. And then this actual piece here, actually I need to double click on these two edge loops, give them a slight bevel. Okay, so now I'm going to go to create polygon primitives pipe, point snap it here, scale it up. So this is a pipe primitive. Okay, so it has like this ring that it's sitting on. That's actually a little too big. Probably. Oh no, that's probably about right. And then so now it has like these arms that come out. So I'm going to, looks like maybe 3 arms. So I'm gonna grab this face, and then we're gonna go to this one and to this one. So they're about equally spaced. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 there. So that's about as equal as you can get. And then we'll go to edit mesh, extrude, pull those out. So they just kind of intersect through here. And don't forget, we're not really going to see these that close. So I'm going to grab the arm faces, go to select, component, actually select, convert, where is it? Here it is, convert selection to vertices. Then I'm going to use my normal based movement. We're going to make these a little skinnier like this. Deselect the ones in the middle. Kind of bring these back out. So it does this kind of wheel spoke type effect. Okay, so here's our basic stuff we got going. So the actual arm here, it does have some details coming out of it, like the leaf motif that the first chandelier had. This has something similar, and soften the edge. So what we can do is we'll double click on this edge loop. We'll go to edit mesh bevel, get another ring through here. Double click on this edge, and I'm going to scale it out and bring it down like this. Then we can bevel that edge, and we'll go to mesh tools, insert edge loop, stick one through here. So it's kind of got this trumpet shape to it. And then over here, looks like we have something that's like, let's see if I grab some edges, kind of just pull them down. Mesh tools, insert edge loop through here. Bevel that shape. We'll go to multi-cut and cut through here and right through there. We can actually go back to our multi-cut and kind of cut through here. Something like this. And then we have what looks like kind of a little hook coming off the bottom over here. So I'm going to, let's just grab this vertex, go to edit mesh. I want to chamfer vertex, here we go. So it gives us this little diamond shape. So with this face, I'll now go to edit mesh, poke. So it kind of gives us this kind of hook coming off of here. Let's see, something like this. We can actually chamfer it again, that vertex, and gives us this end cap to it that we can then shape a little bit and maybe apply a bevel to. So now what I'm doing is just grabbing all these edge loops and I'm going to bevel them so it's not quite so hard diamond shaped. bevel. Let's actually deselect those. So then this point, I'm going to point snap down to here on all four sides. And this point, I'll snap up to this one. Grab all these, edit mesh, and merge them all. So now we have something like that. So let's bring back the wall real quick. I think this is probably too big. So grab my chandelier pieces here, Control G to group them, move it out here, and I'll unhide my big chandelier because this chandelier is not supposed to be nearly as big as this one. So let me look at my guide real quick here and just kind of compare the scale. Yeah, so this piece should probably be at least half the size as it is now. So something closer to this. All right, we'll put it back at the origin for now. We'll hide our other stuff and look back at it. Here we can unhide our grid. So we're going to put this over here because we're going to continue to build up our chandelier. But I think we're at a good spot for the end of this particular video. So we have kind of a good shape for our arm. That's going to represent this piece of the chandelier. You can see it there. So yeah, we got all these little diamond shapes. That should be fun. And kind of make this look like a really sparkly crystal chandelier. See you next time.